Hey everybody, welcome to etrailer.com. I'm Bobby, and today we're taking a look at the Yakima JayLow Kayak Carrier here on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. Now JayLow is definitely going to be one of the more premium kayak carriers out there. You're getting a lot of great features, and right out of the gate, things I like about it, we do have locking cores. So primarily from what I've seen, this is going to be a great way of making sure that our kayak carrier stays to our roof rack without actually having to take it off and put it inside our vehicle. So that's one of the big advantages for me too. I do like the little bit of a loading assist here at the top. Now it's not going to be anything like maybe the Malone downloader. We can get a nice little Telos load assist here to really kind of ramp it up on those stilts. However, with these little pads here, definitely not going to be too hard of us to actually get this kayak up and over there, especially with our CX-30 being so small and kind of compact. I'm not too terribly tall, I'm about 6 foot or so, but you can still see very easy for me to actually start loading this kayak up on here with no problem. Now it does come with a nice little tie down kit. As you can see, we are getting pretty good straps across our middle section here. A little bit of extra length here, and my only thing with them, not a really good way to tie them in. I usually just kind of stick them behind there once I actually have them kind of tied together. You might see them kind of coming a little on loose. On this end too, you will see that we have a little plastic covering across our cam buckles. What can be great about that, as you can see, this is going to be making contact with our kayak. We don't want that rubbing up against it, causing any kind of damage. So of course, that rubber is going to do a good job of protecting our kayak. Another great thing too is if these straps, when we're taking them on down or we're mounting it, if those cam buckles were to fall into the roof of our car, they won't be causing any damage as they will be protected by that rubber coating. So do like that, and of course very easy to use with that lever system to get that strap run through with no trouble at all. You will notice too it comes with some bow and stern anchors. I'm going to break that down just a little bit of how we have that mounted in there, but you do love to see them. We always recommend that people put them on. I know you guys are probably driven around seeing them without there. One big wind gust can really ruin your whole day, so definitely be putting those guys on there, and it is nice that it comes with it. Well, let's go ahead and start taking a little bit of a closer look. But before we do, a couple cool things with it as well. This guy is going to fit about 80 pounds of kayak for a single platform. Now, one great thing with this as well is we can actually put this in a post style, and instead of carrying one kayak, we actually can get 2 kayaks on one carrier. However, that is going to bring down our weight capacity about 55 pounds per kayak, putting us about 110 pounds overall to carry it. Well, let's go ahead and start taking a look at a closer level. So as we talked about, we do have bow and stern straps, and they are going to be very, very easy to use. One of the great things is they kind of come in 2 parts here. The first part we can go ahead and strap through the top of our kayak. It is going to give us just a little bit of a cam buckle system. Again, you're going to get a lot of strap with of this, so it can be nice to go ahead and tie it together like so. One thing to note too, not the easiest thing to tie down. I'm not the biggest fan of this system just because we do have a lot of extra strap and no good way to tie it on. Now if you have a handy dandy ponytail, it can be really easy to just kind of loop those through and kind of tie it in nice and tight. That way they don't go anywhere. But as you can see today, we do have this top element just strung through here and our bottom contact point inside of our vehicle. To release this, all I have to do is pull up on our cam like so. Gonna make it really easy to actually take these guys out. So that's how we can loosen it, just so we can actually go ahead and get this hatch open. Pushing that to the side. Now we are gonna note, we're gonna move ourselves around here and check at the top of the hatch, but I just wanna go ahead and show you guys how we actually have that hooked in here. Now our Mazda CX-30 has a good little anchor point on that corner for our little metal hook here. Now that's the one thing about this tie down kit as well. You are going to have good elements for this to actually work. Now luckily for us, our Mazda does have that nice little anchor in that corner, very easily flippable out, and that way makes it a really good attachment point for us. However, again, I'm not really the biggest fan of the strap kit. One thing I might do is look at the eTrailer tie-down kit for kayak carriers. You're going to get a lot of good cam buckle systems and a little bit better of a temporary mounting point utilizing those foam dog bones that actually come with it. So just one little thing if you want to make your trip a little bit easier for yourself, but as you can see, definitely not going to be a problem. I did want to mention that our hatch is having just a little bit of issue here. You can see that's actually making contact right there on our rear windshield wiper. However, our hatch is getting a full opening here, so it's still nice that we can actually get in here, get anything we might need with our coolers or anything like that. However, I just be very careful of opening that hatch. You saw how I was kind of caressing it before it actually touched the top, just making sure that we're not having a good hard contact. If we let it gently rest, not gonna have any issues at all. So we've gone ahead and removed our bow and stern strap, and that brings us to our middle elements here, actually holding on to our kayak. Again, gonna get a little bit of an extra strap length here, which is totally okay, as long as we can tie it away. You see, getting that ran through can do a good job making sure that strap doesn't come undone. And we can spool that out. I do wanna make note of how we have this strap actually ran through. So this is our one end of our cam buckle, and all we have to do is throw that around our big hoop on the back end and bring our other strap that's going underneath it across the kayak as well. We want good constant pressure of pushing this kayak into our carrier, and therefore we don't have any of our straps go underneath. They both have that middle attachment at the top and both bring it around our carrier. Then our other end is going to loop down around and underneath our roof rack here and back up into our cam buckle system to be pulled on nice and tight and making sure we have a good connection. To loosen it though, all we have to do is press on that little lever on the inside and simply bring our strap all the way back through. Let me go ahead and repeat that process. And then I'm going to go ahead and for now I'm just going to pull this all the way through. That way I don't have this strap doing any kind of damage to the roof of my car as I take off my carrier. Now we can go ahead and repeat the process on the other side. Now that I have all of my straps off, all I want to do is actually remove our kayak from our carrier. To do so, there's a couple different ways, but I like going ahead and getting a lot of the weight kind of up towards me. That way I can get underneath the kayak. To do so, I like to push it against the carrier. You're going to see that's going to allow it to rotate down. Now, a lot of the weight is actually going to sit right here on that load assist platform, which can be great because you can see all I have to do is really balance that. That way I can get underneath here and actually get underneath my kayak and lift and walk away. Now that we have our kayak off, I'm just going to go ahead and give ourselves a closer look at our carrier. You're going to see you're going to have nice little rubber covers here on ends of our arms. That's going to do a good job preventing any kind of contact with our kayak and our metal on the underneath. That way we don't have any friction or damage being added to our kayak. You're also going to get a nice little grooved kind of rubber pad on the inside of here. Now it has a little bit of give, which can be great. That way, if we do have any kind of bounces on the road, hopefully a lot of that is going to be absorbed by this little pad on the inside. Those grooves do a good job too of just getting a little bit of texture for that kayak. That way it's not rotating when it's in the carrier. Of course, a little bit on that little load assist can be nice to prevent any kind of damage as we are keeping our carrier there. Now, one thing too with it is that it is adjustable. So that's kind of one of the great things about these styles is that this is adding a little bit of height to our vehicle. How much height? Well, let's go ahead and take a quick look. From the roof of my car to the very top is putting us right under 22 inches there, as you can see. So about 21 3/4 or 21 and about 7/8 there to the top. So definitely not going to be anything too crazy, almost about 2 feet, but we do have a way of quickly shortening that down. We have this nice little red lever here that we can go ahead, pop open to the side and bring our arms in and collapse it one more time to make it nice and secured in this position. You're going to see at this point that our carriers on both ends are going to be, or our mounting points on both ends are going to be our highest points of contact. And it's going to put us right under 8 inches, so about 7 15/16 there to the top. So definitely not going to be a lot of height added, and definitely not going to have too bad of a time of pulling this in the garage, or at least some drive-throughs on the way home. One cool thing about this too, as we mentioned, it does come with this locking core. So even when we have it in this position, it will be nice and secured. That way we're not having to pull it off all the time. How this mounts too, you can see, very, very little simple solution here. I'm gonna go ahead and pop this guy just so we allow that mounting element to work easier. On the side here, we have these turning knobs that if we loosen this up, it's gonna allow this arm to swing out to the side. You'll see we have these nice little ridge elements on this mounting point. Obviously, very, very conforming to aero bars. Does a great job fitting in that unique little build, and it gives us a lot of good stability. Now this is gonna fit a host of different roof racks, whether they be square, round, or aero, as you can see today. Now with those square bars too, it does come with a nice little adapter to make sure that we are getting a nice uniform fit on our bars. One thing to note too, as you can see, I actually have this in a post position here. On our other side, we have it in our J style position. What's happening there is the JayLow does have another distinct advantage. As we mentioned before, we can actually carry 2 kayaks with this one carrier. So a lot of times you have to buy 2 carriers, 2 sets of carriers to actually carry 2 kayaks. And what's great about this, we can go ahead, put this in this post position, and then we can get a second kayak loaded up on this side. Now, things to note with that though, you're not gonna have an additional tie down kit. You will have to purchase that separately if you are wanting it. And again, keep in mind that we'll be reducing your maximum weight capacity to 55 pounds per kayak. But I do really like that little option. Makes this way more versatile than a host of different systems I'm seeing out there. As you can see, that arm makes it really easy to switch between that post and that J style, and we aren't limited to just one carrying style. Well, as you guys saw, the JayLow is definitely going to offer you a lot of great features. It's definitely one of our favorites, and for a lot of reasons. Not only do all those independent systems work really well for themselves, as you can see, it is going to look good doing it. One thing to note too with Yakima, as we mentioned, yes, you are going to get that nice little locking core feature that really starts sitting across or away from a lot of those different kind of carriers. One awesome thing about it is you can start getting them keyed alike, utilizing Yakima's same key system. Right here, as you can see today, we do have our Yakima Jetstream and towers on here today. One awesome thing we could do for our Mazda, go ahead, find out exactly what kind of locking core we have here in our towers and start getting them keyed alike to our carrier. That way we only have to have one set of keys that we're worried about, and if you're like me, every spare key is definitely going to help. Nice that we only need one to actually get the job done. Well, I think that about does it for our look at the Yakima JayLow Kayak Carrier here on our 2020 Mazda CX-30. I'm Bobby. Thank you for watching.